I really want to express that, and I'm speaking, and I think I'm speaking for the rest of us, this mortgage interest deduction is really important to the, not only the people in Lincoln, Nebraska, but nationwide. I think that is really important that we keep that interest deduction there. And I don't know how you feel on it, I haven't got a good feeling on it, and I was kind of shaky on that because I want you to go back to Washington and know that at least one person here thinks that this mortgage interest deduction is very important for our economy. And I think Mr. Herms over there gave you a good indication that it is important. So can I get a feeling from you that you think it's important too?
Here's what I want to tell you. It has been a traditional part of our tax system and basically an economic stimulus. And I think it is served well in that regard. I am not going to give you a blue sky answer that says for all times I am going to absolutely commit that the preservation of the interest deduction is something that I will stake my life on. I cannot do that because let's say we've got a wholesale new tax system that we have to consider that might be pro-growth, pro-revenue, and would make sense and impacts this deduction. I have to have room to negotiate somewhere in there. So that's the best I can tell you. Do I think this is going to wait? Probably not. Do I think there's going to be a discussion about these upper end of the mortgage deduction? Yes, there is. Because what that is effectively doing is subsidizing a very small segment of the housing market for people who do not need that subsidy, and that's probably going to be on the table. That'd be my best guess to you. So does that a better answer for you?
Well, it still worries me.
Yeah, no, I just simply cannot make that pledge to you for all time that this cannot be touched. That would be wrong of me to do that because it's simply an economic variable. I've heard what you said about how important it is. I've heard what you've said about how you consider it to be a revenue producer. And that very well may be, and when the numbers come out, say if you got rid of this, you'd lose X amount of revenue in the federal government. Great, then it's justifiable. You see what I mean?
I can see that, yeah.
But when you get to these upper levels, and you're having the government in effect subsidize a pretty narrow segment of society, which is not necessary to the fundamental purpose of the tax deduction, which is what? What's the fundamental purpose of it?
Well,
Affordable housing.
yes.
Affordable housing. That's the philosophical reason that that's there. And that's going to be under real scrutiny as we try to tighten budgets or potentially change the tax code, particularly when you're subsidizing at a level when it's not tied to that essential purpose. Maybe that doesn't give you full confidence, but that's the best answer I have to give you. I don't like the conjecture